Alright, hello and welcome to the Flying Battery Zone. So you might remember this stage as being Stage 2 from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or Sonic 3, but not Sonic and Knuckles. Or maybe only Sonic and Knuckles. It's so hard to keep track of what all these stages are from. All I know is it's from my childhood. But man, if you thought Studiopolis Zone was a little long and frankly a little boring, well, this stage kinda doubles down on all that. So I already played through some of these stages, and this was like the one stage that I really dreaded playing over again. Now I remember as a kid, like, I kind of felt like this was an underrated stage. I mean, you jump onto like a flying airplane for Christ's sakes. You'd think that would be pretty cool. But as it turns out, no. It's kinda not. And then you start getting magnetism gimmicks halfway through, but well, they basically just serve to slow your progress. I mean, at least Studiopolis Zone, at least most of the obstacles let you run by faster, but this stage, everything just kind of slows you down. And I feel like that's just so true of so many Sonic obstacles. They're just there to slow you down. Speaking of things that slow you down, but things that I love so much I would never blame, these special stages all kind of slow you down. So if you're playing like a playthrough of this game, I would kind of caution you against playing all the special stages right away. I mean, it really has a way of making all of the levels feel like they take just so much longer. Now, I don't know that necessarily that's a bad thing, that there are the special stages, but I kind of wonder if they're almost, and I mean, bear with me here, but there are almost too many special stages. Or maybe they should have had them as like a gimmick that kind of unlocks gradually, and you have your choice of like, oh, let's say 100 special stages that you could play through. But having them be at every checkpoint, I mean, it makes it feel a little fun to unlock checkpoints, but after a while, it just kind of slows things down almost. Then again, I guess, if I think about it, I mean, Sonic is never really a game of, like, trying to go through it as fast as possible. I mean, if you're a doofus and all you read was, like, the box and you saw the words fast and or hedgehog and you're thinking, oh man, better get through it fast. It's like, no, Sonic is more of a play through it a little slowly, kind of soak up and enjoy everything that it has to offer sort of experience. Okay, so here's where the stage gets a little interesting. So yes, we are in the magnetism part, so I mean magnetism is everywhere, but what's interesting is that with the lightning shield, then you yourself are participating in the magnetism. Unfortunately, I guess the magnetism stuff is all kind of broken. Well, okay, one thing I dislike about the magnetism though, is it means that everything's on a timer. And so that means, like, everything is kind of slow, wait, slow. These propellers, on the other hand, I mean, you can take them as fast as you dare, but, I mean, I don't want to send Sonic to a death like that. Also, the mines, they might look really scary right away, but there's a delay on when they explode. So you can just run right through. Oh! So one fun consequence of being the Lightning Zone, death is always at your door, because if you get crushed by one of those spike monsters, you're probably going to die. So that was kind of an interesting pattern for... Oh, and it's not done. So apparently we're going in some sort of maze, and then it's set up so if you mess up, then you're pretty much messed up. Oh, those don't... Oh, it tricked me. I feel like so many of those bonus stages like that, like... I mean, you can't really get them unless you're a superhuman. Like, it takes a lot more than reflexes to get through. You also have to, everything's on a cycle. And even when you try to dodge the obstacles, then the obstacles try to dodge you. And by dodge you, I mean run into you. But I kind of, well, okay. you can't really beat the special stages with just reflexes alone, because you also have to plan out where you have to, like, what blue orbs to get if you want to get the golden medal. And I mean, if you're not aiming for the golden medal, then why even try? So I feel like that means each special stage like that takes at least a few tries to get things down, which I suppose adds to replayability, but it does add to frustration on the first time through. Although I'm almost starting to wonder if they released like a mode that was just the blue orbs on its own, like no Sonic or anything. If they charged like, I don't know, $5 for like an Android app or something, if people would actually like it. I mean, I'm still thinking, but I think I might go for that deal. I mean, $5 isn't so much money, and the blue orbs are pretty fun. That's just kind of weird to think, though. It's like something that was kind of a throwaway mini-game in a bigger game could now be like a game in and of itself. Of course, using the term game a teach loosely. So, I just want to say, I think I got through that level a little skillfully, if I do say so myself. Yeah, that was gonna be a tough one no matter what. Oh yeah, this boss. Oh no, that's not that one boss, it's the other boss. Okay, so this boss is a little annoying, but ultimately doable. The trick is, you gotta get the timing down right, but essentially, he'll make a little trash monster, so you gotta jump on the trash monster and use its boost to hit him. I mean, not all of these Sonic bosses take a rocket scientist to figure out, but they're a little bit tricky sometimes. I will say though, nothing gets you quite worried like seeing the edges kind of come in and feeling a little bit more claustrophobic. Oh, that's a neat balancing mechanism. So as the trash gets higher, then you can jump and like hit the thing directly. So, the game's got your back. And speaking of backs, we're back to Flying Battery Zone 2. What's different? Frankly, not much. If I remember correctly, there is a touch more to do with the whole magnetism theme. Although I feel like the whole fact that we're in like an airship has been a little bit neglected. But yep, I hope you liked those cycles before because they have not gone away. Oh, never mind, I remember. They do a teensy bit with the airship. So if you go through one of those doors like how we just did, then you go to the outside. And if you're outside and you go through one of those doors like we're about to do, then you go back inside. And, well, ouch. But I think it makes for a nice kind of change of pace, and it does finally incorporate the airplane theme. And best of all, it doesn't really slow you down. Ooh, okay, so now we got some wind. And you'd think wind slows you down, but nope, it really just makes things more dangerous. Which is fun, because I mean, you don't want Sonic to be like too boring and just run to the right. Well, maybe you don't. But I feel like Sonic can also be a little fun if you get a little bit of danger going. Maybe not a lot, and maybe nothing as onerous as the underwater time limit. But just like a little bit of danger. And that's nice. Ooh, so we've got thunder, we got lightning. This is shaping up to be a pretty cool weather stage. It's a shame we can't quite see any of that blue sky. I bet it looks nicely dark blue, because it's a storm. And just like the king of bad decisions, I now have turbo shoes and no rings. So, I don't know if you noticed, but that enemy just picked us up. I mean, okay, most games, that's maybe not so notable, but, this is after Chemical Plant Zone 2, or Chemical Plant Zone, where there's an entire enemy type that will kill you if it grabs you for long enough. So, what is the deal? Oh, so this is new. I didn't see this the last time I saw it, or last time I played this game. And, okay, so he can, like, shock you and, brighten up your day in the worst way possible. But, he's gone in like a screen, and there goes the gimmick. Oh, never mind, this is a whole thing now. Oh, jeez. I forgot that Sonic could die. Okay, that's kind of a neat gimmick. Oh. No. I sure tricked that platform shooter. You know, I'm beginning to think these special stages are set up to hurt you if you take the path of least resistance. Oh, warning lights again, and we're in a boss. Oh god, it's the Spike Spider. So if you want a boss that kind of sums up everything about this stage, you've got this Spike Spider, who is incredibly slow and tedious, and the gimmick to defeating him is counterintuitive. So if you just bounce into him like some sort of rube, you will frankly not accomplish much. So what you want to do is you want to be grabbing onto these poles on the side and launch yourself at him. You know, I feel like it really says something about Sonic when it takes like 2 minutes to figure out the weakness of each boss, but it takes like 10 seconds to explain that weakness to anyone else, including but not limited to a 5-year-old child. Ooh, I guess we're doing this on hard difficulty. And the worst part is, like, he bounces and bumps and lights up when you hit him, like normal. And it makes you think that you're actually doing something, but nope. You gotta do it the right way, or not at all. I mean, he also obstructs your way through the pole, but frankly, that's just par for the course at this point. Oh, and sometimes if you don't hit him, like, quite well enough, then he doesn't even run into the spikes. And it takes, like, 8 shots to kill him, so hope you've got your patient, posse. On the bright side, it does make it that much more satisfying when you can 2-cycle him. Well, maybe not 2-cycling isn't quite the right word, but hit him twice in 1 cycle. Oh, okay, that didn't take near as many hits as I remember. I mean, I remember it taking infinite hits, so I guess that's a little different, but man, oh man, does he last a fairly long time. I think it's also, too, because, like, it's kind of on a cycle. But it's not like the boss's action cycle, it's more on like a stage cycle. So okay, like everything else on that stage. Okay, so I was browsing the manual, but just because I was a little bored, and hints and tips. Action games are like sports. If you practice every day, you will improve over time. Words, nice, broadly applicable words of advice hidden very deep in this very slow loading manual.